We're going to talk today about a possible new favorite or upcoming new favorite for best place to relocate for tax savings purposes. And it is one that kind of slipped out there. Now, to be fair, this place has been, their enforcement of their rules has not lived up to their rules themselves for a very long period of time. However, now they have this kind of official policy. I think this is going to be super attractive for a lot of people. We're living in a situation right now where you have countries like Italy, who have their lump sum regime, have raised the price on it. You have various different countries like Portugal, which have severely restricted their favorable tax statuses. You see places like UK, which has gotten rid of their non-dom regime, et cetera, right? So there's been a bunch of places that have changed their rules to make those rules less attractive from a tax standpoint. And it turns out that in the midst of this, one country came out, they just passed this thing, they announced it almost a year, well actually over a year ago, but they, or over a year, anyway, a while ago, no, I'm wrong on the over a year, but anyway, whatever, not the point. The point is, they just passed this tax ruling, which is going to be, I think, very attractive to a lot of people. So let's dive in and talk about it. Before we do, if we haven't already, thank you. I'm Michael, welcome. This is Offshore Citizen. We are some of the foremost international tax experts in the world. We help you to go and live in other countries, to set up companies in other countries, to operate through foreign bank accounts, etc., to do so legally, to discover essentially what it is that you can do in your individual situation to optimize. And this is different for every person. Anybody who's selling you a one-size-fits-all does not know what they're talking about, but it is, useful for a set of people. And so if you're interested in those things, you can reach out to us. You can always book a call with me, calendly.com/Michael-Rosmer, link in the description below, and I will see you soon there, hopefully. Anyway, moving on to the actual situation. So what is the country we're talking about? The country we're talking about is Turkey. So Turkey recently passed, I think it was May 21st or something like that, a policy which is a 20-year exemption on foreign income. And there's a few things to know about this that I think are quite worth paying attention to. So the first thing is you're in a situation where you don't even have to report it, okay? So that's kind of cool, right? So if you go, you become a tax resident of Turkey, you're living there as your, main home, and you're declaring your taxes, and you have foreign rent, royalties, dividends, capital gains, business income. You don't even have to report it. And it is zero tax for a period of 20 years, which is pretty long, right? Longer than most of these places tend to offer. And so that's pretty cool. The qualification is super easy. So you have to have not been tax resident in the last 3 years. That's important. But otherwise, there's no lump sum payment that is required. There's nothing crazy like that. Notably, of course, they have citizenship by investment, which is some of the easiest in the world if you can buy property and qualify, which is something that you can't do in a lot of these other places. So that's pretty interesting. And so when you combine those two things together, it applies for citizens, right? It just doesn't apply for people who have been resident over the last few years. But you can kind of imagine how this is probably going to drive quite a bit of interest in getting set up there. They brought some other things in at the same time, which includes 1%. So previously, inheritance and gift tax could scale up to 30%. They now have it capped at a flat 1%, which is, pretty good, pretty good. I think, why is this appealing for people? Well, one, there's a bunch of places that maybe people just don't want to move. Now, to be fair, I don't especially love Turkey as a place to live, personally. It's not my favorite part of the world. There's a bunch of things that, it's just not my favorite place to be. However, if you kind of consider, compared to what the other options are out there, this is pretty tough to compete with, especially if you say, okay, well, let me get the citizenship. Yes, there are things that people dislike about the citizenship. Yes, people are concerned about the devaluation of the currency. Yes, people are concerned regionally about this being close to kind of hot zones in terms of war, et cetera. So there's no one size fits all, right? There's nothing perfect. I've made this comment many times before. For years now, I have gone all over the world, been to many different places, lived in many places, and I can tell you there is no perfect place. So, there's always trade-offs, right? This being said, what are you comparing to? I mean, you could go and live in the Turkish Riviera, pretty similar geographically to like south of Spain on the coast, very beautiful area. you could go and you could have access to something like Istanbul, which has, you know, absurd international flight connections, lots of variety availability. Yes, there are high import duties on a lot of things into Turkey. So if you're, you know, gonna bring a car in or something like that, it will cost you more. But on the other hand, if you want to kind of hire people locally, cost of labor, quite good. Quite a business minded place, I would say. Like, generally speaking, my experience dealing with Turks is quite great. I think it's one of the best hospitality cultures in the world, maybe the best. Really, really wonderful. And it has a lot of proximity to other places. So as the world changes, we'll see, you know, kind of what shifts over the next little while. But as people are looking at places to go out of, say, Europe, you know, maybe they think to go to UAE, maybe they think to go to Switzerland, obviously still in Europe, but, you know, people who are coming from Norway, etc. This, I think, is going to be a very attractive addition. And so definitely worth considering when you are putting it on your consideration list. And, you know, potentially good cost of living as well. So for a lot of people, very, very attractive. Not attractive for everybody, but very attractive for a lot of people. So let me know what you think. Put them in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.